Welcome to Christian Fitness on CTN's Amplify Podcast Network.
We're your hosts, Robert and Lori Evans, here to help you love living your life.
It's our goal on every episode to bring you simple, healthy living tips and encouragement to be more active.
Because movement is medicine. So turn off all the other distractions and get ready for today's episode of Christian Fitness.
So today we've got some really good things we want to discuss. And I know we want to review Matthew 7, and we're going to talk about training your eyes. And then we talk a little bit about moving more. We're always talking about moving more, but I think most important is that let's talk about Matthew 7 first, because I love reading that scripture. It's about treating others.
Yeah, so we're going to talk, we're going to first of all talk about the spiritual sense, then we get into what you consume and eat, and then we're going to talk about moving more. So we're covering every aspect of your life. But yeah, Matthew 7:12, really popular scripture. You're probably very familiar with it. So we just want to do a brief study on it today. We're going to read out of the NASB.
In everything, therefore, treat people the same way you want them to treat you, for this is the law and the prophets. And I love that because it is, if you think about it, God has poured his love in us and he's telling us to treat others the way he treats us. He loves us. He watches over us. He cares for us. He looks at us as his child, and he treats us as though we are his child, no matter what's happening, no matter what we do, no matter how we act, no matter what happens, he's still looking at us through his love, and his actions are pouring into us his love so that we can act the same for others. Good. I think that is so important when you think about what if you run into somebody that you don't know that well, or they don't know you that well, and they're having a really rough day, and you decide you're going to treat them with the love of God, and you're going to react, and no matter what they're going through, with the love of God. That may be the only one thing that someone has experienced throughout the day, especially for having a really bad day, is you've made a decision to love them and to treat them that way, and it affects how they treat others. So how you treat others, they will treat others that way. I mean, if you think about it, we're a reflection of God. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, this scripture, I encourage you, go read the entire chapter. We don't have time today. It'd be a 5-hour show if we did that. But anyway, earlier in the chapter, Jesus is talking about judging. Well, actually, not judging. You aren't the judge. Don't judge others. Yes. Watch out for the plank in your own eye. And he goes into that whole discourse. And then at the end of this chapter, it says the people were amazed and astonished at the power and authority that he spoke with. I mean, it's God himself speaking, so of course it's going to have power and authority. But this wasn't something they were used to hearing. Because in the natural, you're going to be upset with your neighbor. You're going to be upset with your enemy. Not any different than today. You're going to be upset in traffic if someone cuts you off. Those things happen in the physical because we're getting our emotions. Mm-hmm. And Jesus is saying, you need to treat people the way you want to be treated. Love them just like your brother. We're all children of God. So I'm not any more special to God than Lori is. Lori's not any more special than the person that cuts you off in traffic, or someone that looks different than you do, or has a different belief than you do, or hasn't come to know the love of Christ yet. And that's probably the hardest one. We'll say, oh, well, I'm going to treat a Christian better and treat a Christian like a brother or sister. But someone that doesn't believe in Jesus, I'm not going to treat them that way. You still need to treat them with love. That's what Jesus is saying. Say, look, we're all children of God. They may not know the love of God, Christ yet, but they can experience it through you. What can change them, as Lori was talking about.
You know what I just thought of, and I don't know why I would think of it this way, but do you remember those little bracelets that you would see people wearing, WWJD?
Oh, yeah.
What would Jesus do?
Had one.
If you, I actually gave you that.
One still.
Yeah. But if you, and we do have one. We have one living inside of us. So if you think about it, what would Jesus do? Jesus poured out the love of God because, yes, he was God. So because God is love, when you think about treating others, when you treat them through the love of Christ, then all the other benefits and results will come about because of that. So it's almost, if you think about when somebody's doing something and it may not be as pleasing to you, how would Jesus react? He would love them into a correction. If you lovingly correct a child, the child will change. Mm-hmm. If we lovingly treat people the way God treats us, then people will respond to that. And it's not that you do it out of a motive for a response, but you do it out of the love of Christ. When you love people, you will receive that back. this is the principle of that scripture.
Oh, they call this the golden rule. Even people that don't understand Christianity know there is a golden rule, and they sometimes misquote it and twist it. But anyway, this is the golden rule, or we call it the God rule, because He is telling us to treat others that way. Well, let's get into our nutrition segment. I love this segment because it is really talking about training your eyes. And there is a discipline in training your eyes to train your stomach. So we can train our stomach. We train our stomachs physically to try to, increase our core strength. But you can also train your eyes to control what you eat and what you process into your stomach. So definitely train your eyes to train your stomach.
So when you look at food as, did God make it? Or is this created by a manufacturer or something else? When you look at the food God created, it's colorful, it's it's beautiful, but your body truly benefits for that. So we're trying to get you to train your eyes in what actually are you looking at, and do you want that was manufactured, or do you want what God created?
We encourage you, if you're just listening to this podcast, go watch our television broadcast of this, because we have some visuals that you really have to see to kind of capture this. But our first one, I'll try to paint the picture for you just in audio. Our first one is for breakfast. If you drive through because you're late for work or whatever it might be, or you didn't have time to make something at home, and just get let's say a sausage biscuit with cheese and egg.
Ouch.
That's going to be about 560 calories. Instead of having a nice fruit salad with yogurt, that would only be about 260 calories. Then lunch comes up. Now you're hungry still. You're still running late, so you just drive through somewhere and get a chicken sandwich meal, a fried chicken sandwich meal, which is extremely popular even among Christians. Over 1,000 calories for that chicken sandwich meal. Instead, if you had a chicken Cobb salad, that's only 380 calories.
And we use this example too. If you are a woman that weighs 150 pounds, then you get a free burn every day, which is 1,500 calories. And so if you start eating more than that 100 or 1,500 calories, those continue to add up. So when you think about, I've got a free burn, but these two meals were 1,590 calories, the ones that are the chicken sandwich and the
sausage biscuit, cheese and eggs, and then the chicken sandwich.
That's like 1,590 calories when the others were 264 and 380 calories with the salad, with the chicken and the protein and everything really healthy. So you already have a deficit by eating what God made, eating really healthy foods versus eating all the other foods. And then you're over 90 calories. You haven't had a snack. You haven't counted anything you're drinking. And you haven't had dinner.
And this is what we call it a trap. We call it a calorie trap, because a lot of people, we talk to people all the time, about being healthier, and they'll tell us, well, I'm exercising, I'm doing all these things, and I'm eating healthy.
Weight.
I didn't even eat dinner. Well, what'd you have for breakfast and lunch? If you had this scenario we just mentioned, you're already 90 calories over. That didn't include the latte that you had. That didn't include, whatever you had, other drinks you had throughout the day, or the snack, or the cookie, or the roll. So you're already over just in those two meals, and that is the trap, thinking that, okay, I'm eating healthy, which, of course, a fried chicken sandwich and all the other wasn't that healthy. But people think, okay, I'm eating healthy, but you're not. So you've got to really step back and go, okay, is this something that God made? Does it even look like something God made? That fried chicken sandwich does not look like something God made. I'm sorry. It's just, there's no way around it. But there are alternatives. We're not saying, look, don't ever eat anything like that. Look, our life is busy. We go to drive through once in a while, but we'll say, you know what, I'm going to have a grilled chicken sandwich, or I may not eat the bun,
but we won't eat the fries.
Right. Don't do the fries. Do an apple. Do something a little bit healthier, or just skip the fries, or do yogurt instead. But try to do something healthier. Make just a small decision that I'm going to switch from fried chicken to grilled chicken. We're not telling you to change everything you've ever eaten in your life. Make one small change this week, and then next week maybe you don't do the fries. And then the week after that, you don't do soda, you do water instead. So if you make these small changes, they're going to compound over time. Next thing you know, oh my gosh, I've got a calorie deficit, and I only made like one change a week, and it was easy to do.
And then you start losing weight. You start feeling better. So it's not always about just losing weight, but that does absolutely help by monitoring your weight, but you start feeling better. You're actually feeding your mind with proper nutrients. Your brain needs that. Your body needs that. So there's so many benefits to eating healthy and eating what God made instead of what is manufactured. You'll start feeling the different, and then the cravings will go away for the things that you've trained your eyes away from to the things that God created, which are huge benefits.
Yeah, the things that God created are so much healthier. The nutrients and things, as Lori said, you will feel better. If you eat what was on the sausage and the fried chicken sandwich, that's going to have, we call it seed, and it will have a harvest.
It's going to have an effect.
Those things will have an impact on your body just as much on a negative side as the positive side of eating things that God made, those colorful fruits and vegetables. And that's why God created those for us, was to be nutrients for our body so that we could live a healthier, more active life. And then that leads us into just moving more. That's the other medicine. The healthy foods are a great medicine, but movement is medicine as well. So make sure that you just have an active lifestyle, whether it be going for a walk every other night, get in the gym once in a while, watch our program, go to ChristianFitnessTV.com. We've got all our old on-demand shows on there. You can do exercises with us, but just be more active. Find something you enjoy. Find someone to enjoy it with. Join a pickleball club or a walking club or go play tennis. Do something to be more active. Thanks a lot for joining us on today's podcast.
Have a great day.